Look, the boy nobody chose changed everything. Have you ever seen someone and decided who they were without ever really knowing them? Have you ever looked but not truly seen? In a quiet village where the evenings were soft and the sky stretched wide above the baobab trees, there was a boy named Amari. Amari moved differently, while other children ran across the dusty fields, chasing each other with laughter. Amari rolled. His wheelchair left gentle tracks in the earth as he moved slowly beneath the shade of a mango tree. The children didn't mean to be unkind, but when it was time to choose teams, they hesitated. Who do we pick first? Who is the fastest? Who will help us win? And somehow, Amari was always the one left waiting. Not because they hated him, but because they didn't understand him. So Amari learned to do something else. He stopped waiting. Instead of watching the games, he watched the sky. Every evening, when the sun dipped low and the first stars began to appear, Amari would sit quietly outside his home, a small lantern glowing beside him, a notebook resting on his lap, and above him, the sky told its stories, while others saw dots of light. Amari saw patterns, connections, names, stories written across the night. That one is Orion, he would whisper to himself, and those stars, they help travelers find their way home. He didn't learn this in school. He learned it by looking, by noticing, by being still long enough to truly see. One evening, a boy named Kofi wandered past. He had just come from the field, dust on his feet, laughter still in his voice. But something made him stop. Amari was pointing at the sky, not randomly, but with certainty. "You see those 3 stars in a line?" Amari said softly. "That's part of a hunter's belt." Kofi frowned slightly. "They all look the same to me." Amari smiled. "They do, until you look a little longer." Kofi hesitated, then slowly. He sat down. For a while, neither of them spoke. They just looked up. "Wait," Kofi said after a moment. "I think I see it." Amari nodded. "You're starting to." That night, something changed. The next day at school, when teams were being picked again, Kofi looked at the others. Then he looked at Amari. "I choose him." The field went quiet. "Why?" someone asked. "He can't run." Kofi shrugged. "Maybe not," he said, "but he sees things we don't." Amari blinked, not because he was surprised, but because someone had finally noticed. They didn't play the same way. They didn't run the fastest. They didn't win every game. But something else happened. The games became different, more thoughtful, more creative, more connected. And in the evenings, more children began to gather under the sky. At first, just Kofi, then 2, then 5. Soon a small group would sit around Amari, their faces lit by the soft glow of the lantern. "Show us another one," they would say. And Amari would smile. "That one there," he would begin, "has been guiding people for hundreds of years." The children listened, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. One night, a girl whispered, "How do you know all this?" Amari looked up at the stars, then back at them. "When you move a little slower," he said gently, "you notice more." Silence settled around them, not awkward, but understanding. For the first time, they weren't looking at the wheelchair. They were looking at him. And what they saw was something they had missed all along. Not someone who needed to be helped, but someone who could lead. So the next time you see someone who moves differently, who thinks differently, who lives differently, don't be too quick to decide what they can't do. Because sometimes, the ones no one chooses are the ones who see the world in ways that can change how we all see it. Different minds don't need fixing. They need understanding. This is Ozzy's Moonlight Tale. If this story stayed with you, don't let the light end here. Subscribe for more moonlit stories. Sleep gently and dream kindly.